Hello and welcome to another community garden here on WMUC Digital College Park Radio. My name is Matt O'Brien and I'm here with my good friends.
Hello everyone, I'm Dylan Fishbone.
Hi Dylan, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing well. How are you, Matt?
I am swell, man, and I'm doing even better now that we are joined in the studio by an incredible conversational and musical guest tonight, Bryce Watson. Bryce, how are you, friend?
I'm doing all right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
Beautiful, man. Bryce, thank you for joining us in the studio and taking up both roles tonight. We really appreciate that.
Yeah. It's definitely an honor.
Mm-hmm. This is a round of threes, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
This is your third time in the community garden studio. Last 2 semesters ago, we had you on with Elijah Gordon. And then just two weeks ago, we had you on with Colin Dance.
Oh, yeah.
And also, this is our third time having our musical guest also be our conversational guest.
Oh, right.
Last year, we had Foggy May on. And this year, we've had Will Kobus. Ali
he's
Jock.
the best.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes,
he's
yes,
the
yes.
best.
Mm-hmm. Shout out Ali.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so sick.
Yeah.
And an incredible skater as well.
For real.
Yeah.
I see him
he's really
skate
good.
around campus a lot, man, and he's
solid.
pretty incredible.
Yeah, he's really good.
You
Yeah,
like the
and
skate, Bryce?
So is Bryce.
I do. I love to skateboard. I don't do it as much anymore because I'm doing like booking gigs and recording stuff and all that and playing shows with multiple bands. But
Yeah.
I still love skating. I just wish I did it more.
Mm-hmm. Well, so you are a band member in 2 bands that I know of right now.
Yes,
Which are Brucetakenap and
Correct.
Makeup Girl.
those are both correct.
So can you tell us about your work and your role in both of those bands?
So I'll start with Makeup Girl because it's much easier.
Mm-hmm.
I play bass and do backup vocals for Makeup Girl. It's what that entails basically is I just show up and Brody, our frontman, and Caleb, our drummer, they pretty much do all the writing for the tunes. And then I pull up and they're like, hey, you want to lay down a bass part? And I'm like, sweet. So I just play the parts, and if there's a spot for a vocal harmony, even better.
Nice.
Brucetakenap's a lot more involved.
Mm-hmm.
I front that project. I also do, except for the first album, I do like all of the recording and like production and most of the mixing and mastering for the recorded stuff, and I book the shows for the most part.
Wow.
Oh,
So-
very cool.
And did you start this band?
Yeah, I did. I started this band March of 2018.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've had a couple lineup changes,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
but yeah, it's been going strong for about a year and a half now.
Yeah, I'd say that for only a year and a half of making music, you guys have a pretty impressive discography, even just
Yeah,
on
seriously.
one playing platform of Spotify,
Yeah.
man. Great job.
Yeah, thanks. It's a lot of hard work to write all the songs
Right.
and put them together and stuff, but it's all worth it. I just love doing it. It's
How's that process been? Let's start with your first album. How did you approach that as a writer, and did you master it, or who was involved?
Yeah, so that first album, Yellow Denim, I got really inspired. I like broke my pinky in like the summer of 2017. And it was like right at the end of the summer, like literally like got to campus, and then like the day after move-in day had surgery on my pinky.
Whoa.
And was like totally dusted for like 2 weeks, like on Vicodin and all my classes, like just done. So after I got healed up, I was like, well, the skating stuff's cool, but I really want to start doing the music stuff more,
Mm-hmm.
So I had a couple songs written from when I was like, some songs that I wrote in the dorm room, and even before that, when I was a freshman, and even when I was a senior in high school. So I was like, whatever, I'll just like write a couple extra songs and throw it together. I worked with a producer named Gio. He used to be pretty involved with WMUC. He's our vice president for the Terrapin record label now.
Oh, cool. You used to manage the studio, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
yep.
cool.
So I think on like 8 out of 10 tracks, we co-produced it together. And then we went through to master the whole thing and mix and master the whole thing. And it sounded great in the studio. But there's the thing about mastering is you have to check it on different systems. I went home and listened on my headphones, and I was like, oh no, this is supposed to come out in like 2 weeks and only one of these is usable.
Whoa.
So I like tried to figure out how to master it real quick. I reached out to my buddy Alden, who I still work with from time to time for like mix and master assistance. and I think we did what we could with what we had.
Yeah, for sure.
The album sounds great, man.
It really does.
like
I'm
it.
really happy you think so. I you know, that was kind of a rushed effort in the mastering process, and I'm just glad people like it. I'm removed from it now. I can't. My opinion doesn't matter anymore.
Well, I was gonna ask if you listen to the album.
I listen to it from time to time. That first one, I like. There's definitely a lot of like innovative sounds on it that I would probably never use today. Just because it's not just coming out of my mind like pretty much everything after was. So yeah, it's just like it's definitely got some interesting sounds. I'm not in love with the way it's mastered because I did it super rushed, but I think it's a solid album. I think it holds up for the most part. Yeah.
So for our listeners who are not involved in the jargon, what is mixing and what is mastering?
All right. So basically, you got multiple steps of creating a song when you're in the booth. So once you get your song written and you have your lyrics, you just record all the tracks, all the different parts, and that's called tracking. Production is kind of just like choosing what parts you want to throw in the song, and that's kind of like mingles in with arranging as well. And then mixing is making sure that each individual part of the song, so you have all your different tracks lined up, is making sure that all of those parts mesh well together, and they fill out like the range of equalization. So there's different like sound frequencies that you want to make sure are filled out, and you want to make sure that you don't have, one part that drowns out another and all that. And then mastering is taking that mix that's supposedly leveled out, and what you do is you compress it to like make sure that it sounds good on all sound systems. So you compress it and you like make it louder, basically.
Nice. I'm curious, what that time frame looks like. You kind of talked about the writing, how you pulled some stuff from when you were writing in the dorm rooms or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's definitely kind of a longer process spun out over the years. But
yeah.
I was curious, how does it stack up with the recording and then the mixing and mastering? What takes the most time?
So I think what takes the most time is mixing, because at least the way I do it is once I have a track filled out that's fully produced, I'll mix it to how I think it sounds good, and then I have like a basic setting to like see how mixes sound when they're mastered that doesn't really involve that much work, and so I drop it in there, and if it doesn't sound right, I'm like, well, okay, we're back to the mix again. We have to go back and like try to fix what we did wrong. So,
did you record a lot of those tracks for Yellow Denim at home, or were you here at the WMUC studio?
I would say most of it was at WMUC. I need to pull up the track list, but I'm not sure exactly which ones were done where. So yeah, I have it right here on my phone. Let's see. So I think every track except for Make Me Blue was at a home studio. Song for a Rose, I think I did at home. Actually, I think I recorded that guitar part here. And Sound Asleep I made on GarageBand on my phone. I made that track there originally.
That's cool. Well,
yeah.
Bryce, I'd love to talk about what you're doing right now as a musician. Just the other day, you released a track called Picture Frame.
Oh, yes.
And it is fantastic. It has been a beautiful listen this week. So, well, why don't we start with playing the track so everyone has a level playing field, and then we can talk about it.
Let's give it a listen. Yeah, I'd love to talk about it.
Yeah, so this is Picture Frame.
Another lonely day, I stay inside.
And you guys just listened to a track called Picture Frame by Brucetakenap, and we are here in the studio with Bryce Watson, the writer and performer of that track.
Hey.
Bryce, I kind of just want to start with, what were some of your inspirations going into this song, and what piece of that track kind of started all? Was it the riff or the melody?
So it's that chorus riff. So I for the first 2 albums, I want to say I wrote pretty much everything on guitar, and even the EP that I put out back in May as well. I pretty much wrote it all on guitar. But lately, starting in probably January, I started writing on keyboards more. So I started playing that boom, 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 boom. Now I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. I like that a lot. So I started with that part, and then was like, okay, well, that's a cool hook. Let's just fill in whatever chords. So I was just like, okay, this is a pretty easy
beautiful
progression,
man.
little ascending progression.
And what about the lyrics? How did you come around to Picture Frame and the rest of the lyrics?
I had some way more generic lyrics at first, and then with the lyrics I had put together with the way I was singing it, the vocal melody, it just sounded like Chamber of Reflection by Mac DeMarco, and I was like, I don't want that. So I just kind of rewrote my initial idea. I think I remember the inspo for the lyric Picture Frame is there's this Neil Young song called Out on the Weekend, and he goes, she's got pictures on the wall, they made me look up from her big brass bed. And I was like, wow, what a cool lyric. Picture Frame kind of has that same quality of big brass bed. It's oh, wow, what an image,
Yeah, for sure.
So, beautiful. And it's also just about memory and stuff. So it's the picture frame is a good symbol for memory because it stores the memory inside.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
Absolutely.
It's interesting how you were conscious of how a track that you're putting together might sound like another artist. Dylan and I were just talking about how Brucetakenap, we were trying to maybe put our finger on an artist or two where it's oh, this is a very similar sound, and we did bring up Mac DeMarco as being definitely an influence, and other things like Tame Impala or Father John Misty. I'm curious, what influences you to make music, and what influences do you see have come out through your music?
So my biggest one now for that track and the LP that this track's on that's coming out on December 20th, independently released, is Home Shake. I love Home Shake so much. Home Shake's the best. That dude Pete Sagar, wow, what a guy that guy is. His album Midnight Snack is
wow,
top. It's it's the best. It's one of my favorites, probably one of my top 5, not even top 10, top 5 favorite albums.
Nice.
So that one's huge. I listen to a bunch of Stevie Wonder and stuff, so I'm always trying to stretch my voice to see how well I can sing.
Stevie Wonder.
The hook of that Picture Frame song is it's a rip from Roses by Outkast. Caroline.
Oh yeah.
it's the same.
Oh nice.
That's what I was going for. I was
Cause when the moon
cause when the Caroline.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Beautiful,
that's just kind of how I came up with that. I was like, well, I like that song a lot. Let's see how I can transform it.
So you have the influence and the riff on the piano, and you filled that in with the instruments and the lyrics. What are kind of your next steps? I mean, do you go to record each of those instruments yourself? Are you bringing in people, or are you on the computer with some of the instruments?
Yeah, I just have this in Logic. It's a audio production software. So it's I just start off with whatever my rhythm instrument is. For this one, I think the main rhythm instrument was a keyboard, and then I just figure out what layers I want to add. Add a synthesizer. I think this one was the keyboard is the main track, and then I added guitar on top of that to fatten up the rhythm track, and then just synthesizer to fill out some frequency space. And you gotta have drums and bass, so that's just essential.
So I know that in Brucetakenap, in your live performances, you have Zach, who is a saxophone player.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious as to where Zach will come in if this track is to be performed live.
So Zach's a genius saxophone player. Yeah, he just has talent that I've never heard anyone else have with playing saxophone. I know a bunch of great saxophone players too, but there's something special about the way that Zach plays. He does like a little like descending riff in the little instrumental breaks where I'm playing keyboard, so I'm not playing the guitar solos live, at least for this track. So he does this little like descending riff. It's kind of similar. Have you seen our live set?
Yeah.
He plays the vocal melody on slow. The da-na-na-na-na-na. So he plays that live. He kind of does a similar thing on Picture Frame, just in the instrumental little bits.
Heck yeah.
And he's great at it.
Do you bring any of the musicians that accompany you for live performances to record on the tracks, or are you mainly doing the instruments yourself?
I played all the instruments on that track myself. The drums are electronic drums that I programmed. I just like that sound for recording. It's also like
the drums sound great.
Yeah, I think they came out great. It's just cheaper. I just don't have money to record everyone or like the resources.
Right.
Like I could do it, but it would be much more like time consuming. It's just not very conducive to my creativity to do it that way. And if I make a recording that sounds good of a song, I'm just gonna release it.
Right.
I mean, if we do an album of like full band stuff later, of like a greatest hits with the full band, great. That would be sweet.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
For now, it's just like it doesn't make sense for us to record everyone in the studio. It's just easier and cheaper to do it at home.
Very cool how this rise in technology has enabled you, and I'm sure many other artists and musicians, to be able to create whole tracks and whole albums just with their guitars and a computer. It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty crazy.
Seriously. And so it's really interesting that you mention your time and resources as something that you hold dear, because right now we're on a college campus, and in addition to writing, producing, mixing, mastering, all of this stuff, all of this wonderful music, you're also a student here, Bryce.
Yeah, that is correct.
Yeah, so you
still am. Somehow they haven't plucked me out yet.
So you study Spanish.
Yeah, I study Latin American literature. It's it's great. It's really great. A lot of reading, a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure.
How's that going?
It's great. I actually finished the major like last semester. So
wow, congrats.
Yeah, I'm just taking whatever credits I need so I can graduate. I'm trying to graduate in December, hopefully, if I pass everything.
But man, I wish you luck, man. I hope I hope you can reach that goal.
Me too. I need it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got it. You have it.
Yeah, I'm really hoping so. But yeah, it's great.
Have you been able to draw any lines between your studies and, I'm guessing, music, which is your like main hobby?
So being a literature major, you kind of like there's like different like facets of literature that can help in songwriting. Songwriting is not always necessarily literature, I would say, but there are aspects of literature that can help you think about your lyrics. Composition is kind of its own thing. It's just kind of like some weird like fugue state I go into in my brain. I'm just like, oh, what if I played these chords? Or it's like a really pensive thing where I'm like, I'm going to write a song in this key and try to play this many chords, as many chords as I possibly can in this key. But like for writing lyrics, like, I don't know, like studying and like knowing the significance of like metaphors and symbols, and even in like poetry, like just knowing what sounds good, like what like sounds like sound good together.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I mean, studying literature definitely helps with songwriting. It's also not essential to songwriting at all. But yeah, I definitely have had times where I'm like, I wonder if there's a way that I can think of to make that sound better, or if there's like a better like image or like metaphor I could use in a song.
I'm curious if you've ever felt tempted to write any lyrics in Spanish, or kind of bring in that Latin American influence into your music.
So I've thought about it. I'm not Latino in any way, so I feel like as much as it would be cool to write a song in Spanish, that I would be doing a disservice to actual like Latino musicians who are like trying to make a name for themselves, you know?
What do you think about that, Dylan?
Yeah, I support that decision for sure.
Yeah.
I think that just erring on the side of sensitivity is the way to go.
I also suck at writing lyrics in Spanish. I've tried it, and I've like rehearsed lyrics and been like, these suck. These are so bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just gonna stick to what I know.
Do Do you like
I'm just
listening
appreciate-
to Latin American music? I mean, that
Oh,
is
yeah.
literature. Would you consider music to be encompassed by literature, the term literature?
It can be. It depends. Like I definitely am in. I've been in classes of like Caribbean literature where we study like salsa songs, like
Mhm.
as like that's like our reading for class. Some days
Right.
is like listen to this salsa song and like
Yeah.
read the lyrics and see what's going on.
Nice.
And there's some literature in there. There's
Yeah.
some serious like literature happening there. Salsa is like a really cool genre. It's got a whole bunch of stuff going on in it. But yeah, I listen to like when I like if my phone's dead or like don't have data and I'm like, well, I've listened to this Prince CD like 100 times this week. I'm just gonna put on like El Sol like 107.9
Yeah,
and just listen to that.
I like that station.
Latin pop radio is great. It's so good. It's so much better than like top 40 like US hits.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you want to play a song for us right now?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. You guys want to hear something new?
We want to hear something new. For sure. What do you have in mind?
So, I have this LP, right, that I'm working on. It's actually it's done being produced and it's done being mixed. We're just in the process of mastering it right now. But I started working on another project
Whoa.
at the beginning of the semester. And one of my favorite songs that I've written is one that I wrote for that project. So I think I'll play that. It's called Anything.
All right, well, let's mic you up right now.
And I'm going to do like a little bit of an abridged version because there's like a guitar solo, but it's only me. So I'm not going to like sing the guitar solo. I'm just going to do a little bit of an abridged version.
All right, we got you.
Cool. Cool. You're right by me, I can smell the love that's in the air. A flower looks so pretty in your hair. When you ask me what's the last thing that I want to do, the last thing that I want is to lose you. When you have to go and I'm driving alone, I play that song you saved just for me on the phone. When I get back home, I'll be crying on my own. Anything's what I would give to have you here tonight, making love and watching the moonlight. Baby, bring your love to me, it's killing me inside. So I'll be wasting all of my time. Got nothing to do except wait here for you. Even if I did, none of it would be true. Without your love and care, that helps me make it through. Anything's what I would give to have you here tonight, making love and watching the moonlight. Baby, bring your love to me, it's killing me inside. So I'll be wasting my time.
Bryce, man.
That one's fun. I like that one a lot.
That's a beautiful track.
That is
thanks.
beautiful.
And as I was listening to it, a question popped in my mind of who do you scream these songs to? Like, if an idea comes to your mind, do you have anybody who you're like, oh, I want to play this for you, tell me what you think?
Yeah, so the lead guitar player in our band, Corey, like, we live together in a little house off campus called The Void. Maybe you've heard of it. Yeah, so we live there, and he's like literally in the next room to me, and we have like a suite door that connects our rooms. So if I like am making something and I have like both doors closed, he's like, oh, okay, let me just let him do this real quick. Right. But if I open one, I'm gonna be like, hey, yo, Corey, come check this out real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And he doesn't really like listen to a bunch of the same stuff that I do. Like, we play great in a band together, but he's more into like metal stuff, which is cool. Like, he has a lot of interesting music tastes that I would never listen to that he shows me, and I have a lot of interesting stuff that I show him that he would probably never listen to. So yeah, I show him, or like any of my other housemates, because I think we're all musicians there now.
Nice.
Yeah, we're like all musicians in the house now, so
Well,
or at least connected to the industry. So
yeah, exactly. Well, I ask because I'm just so interested in how music, this activity, builds such a community, not only here in College Park, the community that you're a part of, Bryce, but everywhere in the world. I feel like it's one of those things, kind of like religion, that forms communities across cultures. You know, wherever you're at, music is at the center of a community. And I guess I'm just curious how that community has been influential in your last 4 years or however long you've been here in College Park.
College Park DIY is like a special place. College Park DIY is like, it's so great. There's just so like many great musicians who play a lot of diverse styles, and it like helps you, and it's people who are like not only who play different styles of music, but who come from different backgrounds and who have like identities that you may not have ever encountered. Like, I'm from Frederick County. Like, we don't really have too many like trans and non-binary folks out there. We barely have like any racial diversity out there.
Mm-hmm.
So like coming out here and getting involved in College Park DIY like broadened my horizons and taught me like so much that I would have never had access to had I not gotten involved in that scene. So I'm forever grateful to College Park DIY for that. And then like the greater DC music scene is like also just super cool because, you know, you get all these great opportunities where, you know, you just go to a show and you talk to people and you meet different musicians and promoters, and you can literally base your whole career just like going to shows and meeting people. Like, you can start your whole music career by just going and talking to people.
That's for sure. And
it's amazing. It's like so cool.
You mentioning the diversity in the music scene here makes me think of the Next Now Fest, where is the first time that I saw Brucetakenap perform live. And so we had, in the same night, we had Brucetakenap.
Correct.
We had JPEG Mafia.
That was sick.
Which is...
Wait, I think JPEG was the next night.
Was it the next night? Okay.
Yeah, it's the same festival.
All right. Same festival. 2 nights. We had Brucetakenap. We had JPEG Mafia, which is a whole genre on its own.
Yeah.
Really. Kind of like noise music, almost like heavy noise music. We have Black Folks Don't Swim.
They're
like
incredible.
Incredible.
They're incredible. They're like one of my favorite local bands.
Just groovy band.
Mm-hmm.
We had.
Where are they from, Bryce? You said local?
They're from
DC, I'm pretty
DC,
sure.
yeah.
Oh, cool.
And
they're great.
JPEG Mafia is from Baltimore, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
We
That's
had
correct.
Snail Mail perform.
Right, that was the performance of that night.
Yeah. And Snail Mail is from
Ellicott City.
Ellicott City.
I
Maryland.
actually grew up
wow, I
skating
did
with
not
her,
know that.
with Alex Bass, who plays bass for
nice.
Lindsay.
Very
Dude's
cool.
that's the homie. Shout out to Alex Bass.
Yeah, and so many other musicians that I'm not.
Crew Neck Collection.
Crew
man.
Neck
Crew Neck Collection. Those are like some of my best friends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and also
I love those ladies.
Will Cobus performed.
Mm-hmm.
And
I did not
Also
know
the good
Will
homie.
performed there. That's
So
awesome.
many different music styles, so many different people performing.
Oh yeah.
That is, I think, a good lens to view the DC and College Park music.
Most
scene through.
definitely. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, a little bit about. I want to know more about the Void, which is this house
It's an enigma.
Yeah, it's a house that you live in now, but
Yeah.
it also has this larger identity as a house venue in College Park, and it's been that way for a while.
Yeah, I think the Void has been called. I mean, it's been I actually learned recently that people have been throwing shows in that house for at least 10 years now.
Wow.
It's gone under different names. One of my roommates was telling me all the old names, but I don't remember. But I think the Void's been going strong for the past like 4, maybe 5 years. Just that one name. I don't know if that's the longest running. I have no clue.
Yeah.
But
So
it's been cool.
So tell me about your experience there and how you have formed and found community there.
So I started going to shows. I think the first show I went to there was the last time that they threw Halloween at the house. And that was really cool. I like went with a bunch of my friends who I met at the little smoking patio outside of McKeldin. Also iconic spot.
We've talked about that here.
Yeah,
before.
yeah, it's an iconic spot. It's but yeah, I went there with a bunch of friends and just like kind of met a bunch of like new interesting people who were just like into arts and like creating. They were interested in like creating like community. Like that's the whole part of the Void is like you go there and you're like going maybe to just go see a show, but you're participating in a community, and by participating you're kind of encouraging like the stronger like more, I don't know how to say this, like I lost my train of thought entirely, but you're building upon the community that we already have there by just like pulling up to a show and like having a good time and like meeting new people. You're like not only growing like your community, but you're growing the bigger community that is the Void.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that I have to bring this up. Just kind of, I feel like some people might be listening are thinking this. A year ago, probably,
Yep.
This community was marked by an act of one of the members who lived in that house.
That is correct.
Taking advantage of some of the people who have come to the show to try to partake in that community you're talking about. And I have been keeping up with the Void in terms of their response for that.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just more so curious as of what the Void is doing now to let people know that that's not cool at the Void and that's not going to happen again.
So I was not living there or running the shows when that happened.
Right.
But right after that happened, they held a big community meeting at the Void.
I remember this.
And that was like one of the that was like, I don't know if it was the first time, but it was one of the times where I was there and I was like, oh my God, like no one is bigger than the Void, So basically we try to, when we're at shows, what we do is we hyper host our shows. So instead of just like chilling at the door, once we're done with our door shift, we go around and we're just like keeping eyes out, keeping lookout. So it's good to just like, we just keep sober lookouts at places. If we see something that's messed up, we call it out. And we encourage people to come talk to us if anything happens at the Void that we don't catch.
Right.
Yeah, and I think at that community meeting, what was really laid out and what's really still fundamental, I think in any community, is like the explicit expression of what will and will not be tolerated in the community, and a very strictly abiding by those community values. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know, I kind of lost track of what the actual question was, but
no, I just was curious to see how you viewed the event. I'll say on my own part that I feel like the Void responded in an appropriate way and really made me and my friends feel safe again to come to the Void.
Yeah, that was a huge hit for us, and I'm just glad that we have people who really stand for what the community wants.
Dylan, I wanted to ask you what you think of this. Maybe not in the case of the Void, but in general, if a larger community gets marked by the actions of a member, let's talk about the Void, for example. Say you go to the Void,
go for it,
and then this event happens where someone is being taken advantage of, and it's pretty much understood that it's an individual act. Of course, it wasn't an act on part of the community. Are you still open to support that community, Dylan? Do you still go to shows, or what do you think?
Well, I certainly think that like you said, an individual act is a very important part of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because the community at the Void and the DIY community in general came out very adamantly against this act, and also very vehemently opposed this behavior in the community in general. I remember seeing a lot on social media about how the DIY community is not about this. It's about creativity. It's about expression. And what I think is a very positive outcome of this is that it's about creativity, is about expression, but now it's very much about safety and very much about respect.
Oh yeah, safety, respect, inclusivity.
Exactly.
Those are the three main ones you gave
Those
us.
Those are the
three
top
numbers.
ones.
Safety,
those are the top ones.
Respect, and inclusivity, man. I appreciate these values, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are the top ones for us.
And so I think that I am comfortable supporting a a movement, a
Void,
a group of people, a community, the Void,
any void,
a Void that upholds those values and calls out, as Bryce said, any injustices or any wrongdoings that take place in our community.
Yeah, and I would say to the Void's credit, very much so. I mean, you guys do more than just host live shows that are that people come and get fucked up at. You guys hold sober art nights and like you said, the community meetings. And this is a sign, I believe, of a community that really cares about its members and appeals to the I don't know, I guess appeals to the hobbies of all people of the communities.
Yeah, for sure. We actually thank you for reminding us of the sober art nights and stuff. We kind of have all been swamped in our personal lives and are just trying to put on a couple shows. But we definitely want to do more stuff, more low key, maybe not even necessarily sober stuff, but definitely not the party move for the night type shows.
Yeah.
That stuff's always fun, and there's a whole straight edge community out there as well that is they should be included in our spaces as well.
Absolutely.
Sober nights are great.
It's really interesting. You said that straight edge community. I believe there's a strong intersection between that straight edge community and the community of musicians. A lot of musicians and performers that I have met, if not prefer to stay sober the night of a performance, or at least before and during the show, but typically throughout their life stay sober and away from substances, which is really interesting.
Absolutely. But just coming back to the point of safety, what do we say?
Safety,
respect,
inclusivity,
creativity,
and
okay,
so many ivities.
I had 5. This is my caveat. If a community can contribute or support safety, respect, inclusivity, creativity, and I forgot the last one.
Individualism.
Sure. Then I'm there.
Heck yeah.
You know what I mean? And so if that's at the Void, then that's at the Void. If that is in your home, then that's in your home. If that's with your family, that's with your family. But I think that these are great aspects of community that we can add to our list to seek out individually.
Speaking of, instilling these values in your communities at large, Bryce, I was curious, apart from music, what other circles do you have in your, Venn diagram of communities?
Besides music. So music's the big one. But there's kind of multiple circles in there too, because you have the College Park, very local, and then you have the DC, the also local, but a little less local than just College Park. But then you get involved in touring scenes and stuff, so there's even multiple circles within that. I also am friends with a lot of skateboarders. I was much closer friends with a lot of them last year when I was living with Elijah and them, and that was a whole lot of fun. And I still love those dudes. It's great. They're premiering a video that our buddy Namdi filmed on Saturday. So yeah, I'm gonna go hang out with them, hang out with the skaters for a little bit. You got skates. So you got what? You got musicians. You got skaters. Anyone who makes art. I don't know. I run with pretty much everyone. I'm friends with people from all walks of life. I think that's always kind of been like my role. I just kind of float around in different groups.
Yeah.
And I definitely hang around with music folks more than anyone now because I'm just so much more involved and invested in that. But
Well, it definitely shines through your music that you're putting a lot of time through it. And one track that I'm really excited about getting out to our listeners tonight is a track called Not the Same. And this track is I've really enjoyed listening to it this week. Tell me a little bit about it, man, how it came about, how it is.
Not the same. I can't even remember the lyrics. I think I was like going through a breakup or something, and I just wanted to like write. I feel like this song was like just like a way of like getting closure from that. Yeah, I don't know. I wrote it and recorded it and did everything, and then I've only really performed it like once or twice, and both in solo sets. We've never learned it as a full band. I just feel like the sentiment of it for me now, like as a song and a recording, it's like stuck in time forever, which I love. That's what the greatest thing about recordings.
Right.
But as a song for me now, it's not something that I so much relate to anymore, and so I don't really feel like I need to or even should play it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. I mean, this song I get a lot of positive reception about. What's up with your mic today, man?
It keeps falling down. Well, I'll just hold it in my hand. But
Yeah.
that's a really interesting point. How yeah, this is a good position.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so I'm holding the mic now, and I will ask Bryce a question. It's really interesting how you are now feeling, a little detached from this moment in your life, but for someone like me or another listener can hear it and relate to it in their current moment in life, man. How powerful
I think
music.
that's awesome. That's like the coolest thing for me because like I'll probably never play that song live with my full band.
Yeah.
But if someone listens to it on the record and like it elicits a response from them, that's all I need. I don't care.
Well, let's elicit some responses right now, and this track is going to be Not the Same off of Bruce Take Nap album, their 2018 album Yellow Denim.
Yep.
It's called Not the Same. Hope you guys enjoy.
Fancy seeing you again. I knew you'd come, but just not when. So pour a drink and we can chat a while. You open your mouth but just can't smile anymore. 'Cause things aren't like before. Oh, no. So don't play your anxious game. Oh, baby. 'Cause things just aren't the same. I could tell you what went wrong. 'Cause distance doesn't make the heart grow fond. But I can't do a thing for you. And I'm sorry, but it's true. anymore, 'cause things aren't like before. Oh, no, so don't play your anxious game, 'cause things just aren't the same, not the same. I gave you 1, 2, 3 chance, boy, but now that I'm gone, you want me worse than before. And our end was my fault, not yours. Sick of holding keys to hundreds of unlocked doors. And I smile when I think about you and me together, but a thought is just a thought, and now I know much better. I don't love you anymore, 'cause things aren't like before. Oh, no, so don't play your anxious game. No, baby, 'cause things just aren't the same.
And you guys just listened to a track called Not the Same off of Brucetakenap's 2018 album, Yellow Denim. Yeah, it went that time. I said it without any problems.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Well-
the way to do it, buddy.
Dylan, man, bring us into the favorite time of the week, man. You got it.
Our favorite time of the week is the time of the tree and path of the week. And this week is a very difficult week for me because there's so much beauty on
Oh my
campus right
gosh,
now.
man. It has been absolutely incredible.
I was trying to put it into words the way I think the trees are looking right now and whether or not they are inhaling in preparation for the winter or whether they are exhaling and letting out all of these colors in a big exhale.
I feel it's exhale, man.
You think it's an exhale?
It's not only in the colors, but also the shake out of the leaves. Like it's a last breath,
yeah.
a detox before the winter.
Yeah, this is true.
The
This is
lawn
nice.
hibernation.
But also I like the inhale and like you're taking in all of the colors of the summer
Yeah.
and then keeping them in and then when spring comes, I don't know.
Wow.
Anyways, the tree and path of the
Yeah.
week this week will start out actually in a familiar location. And if you've been very intimately following the tree and path of the week throughout the entire community garden season 1, you'll recognize some of this as well. So we're going to start you off actually in the nook of the week, which was just 2 weeks ago. This nook between Dorchester Hall and I believe that is... Yes, St. Mary's Hall and Dorchester Hall. Very nice nook over there. And over there is a 24-foot tall saucer magnolia tree. This tree right now looks like an orange Tootsie Pop. It's just like super circular and orange as heck. And I sat under it for lunch today. It was gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
What'd you eat?
Actually, today I had 2 vegetarian sliders from the Green Tidings food truck.
Oh, nice.
One was a homemade chickpea like curry slider.
Oh,
and
that sounds so
yeah, and
good.
the other one was a Impossible Burger slider.
I had
both
mixed
delicious.
emotions
Where did
about
you
that.
find the
The Green Tidings food
Food
truck
truck.
on Tuesdays is outside the Coalfield House.
Oh, right. Beautiful. Nice.
So you're gonna actually pop out onto the mall after you take your time near the Saucer Magnolia and walk down. If you're looking at the administration building, it's the left side of the mall, and you're just going to pass this canopy of willow oaks that is magnificent, and it also has been our tree and path of the week in season 1 of the community garden. So take a stroll down there. It's beautiful right now. All the squirrels are nibbling on the acorns to get fat for the winter, and you'll probably see a friend or two. It's a really nice walk. And then at the bottom of the mall, there is this tree that I have not noticed before, and I didn't even know it was this type of tree existed. It's called a little leaf linden tree. And this one is 13.7 feet tall. It's at the bottom left side of the mall if you're looking at the administration building. And right now, this tree looks like a lemon lime soda.
All right.
Okay. We're talking Sprite?
Yeah, we're talking
Is it a
Sprite.
McDonald's Sprite, though? Is it
No,
electric?
No.
That's not electric.
It's not.
Standard.
Standard fountain drink.
It's solid state. It's not
Yep.
tube. It's not tube Sprite.
So on this tree, the leaves are either like pear yellow or lime green. And it's so weird because on all these trees, you'll see different gradients on the leaves and all these mixing of colors. This is either yellow leaf or green leaf, and it's just dotted. It looks like a little mosaic. It's gorgeous.
Wow, I'll have to check it out.
You love to see it.
And that is your tree and path of the week this week. Everyone get outside, get those heads off of those phones, and onto those trees.
Go into the trees. And, in the spirit of inclusivity, something I've noticed recently is that left side, if you're looking towards the administration building, that left side you described, walking down the mall, has stairs. The right side is actually completely wheelchair accessible.
Yep.
You can go from the administration building up to the mall without crossing any of those wicket stairs.
Yes.
So if you have any different abilities and you need to take that right path, go for it. And we are back here at the Community Garden with our last segment with Bryce. Bryce, thank you so much for joining us, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, it's been a pleasure.
And we've done a lot of talking about, your creation in the past and everything. We talked a little bit about some projects that you have coming up. I was just curious what your mindset is coming towards the end. You said you might be graduating in December. Coming towards the end of this college experience, how you see your musical community shifting after you graduate from College Park.
I feel like right now I'm in a place where I'm situated in the musical community in a way that does not require my attendance in college anymore. If you would have asked me this question a year ago, I would have been like, I have no idea what I'm going to do when I get out of here. But over the past year or so, I would say that, I've been doing a lot of networking outside of the circles that I started off in,
Yeah.
Started off basically just through the Terrapin record label. I played in the first ever signed band to the Terrapin record label. We were called Jacket. Just a bunch of high school little shits just doing whatever. Just
Nice.
playing music. They signed us. We did an EP. It was great. Then I broke my pinky, started brucetakenap, and kind of had to start over there, but I think I've definitely branched out a lot, and I have a lot of connections not only in DC but kind of all over the country now.
Beautiful.
Where it's like, hey, you set up you played a show with me when I came through tour here. If you want to play a show and go on tour here, I got you.
That's what's
Yeah.
up.
It's pretty cool.
Well,
Yeah.
Bryce, we wish you the best of luck
Yeah.
in all of your endeavors, and we hope you keep reading. We hope you keep writing, playing beautiful music.
Oh yeah, buddy.
And we just want to thank you for coming on to the Community Garden today.
Thank y'all
Thank
for
you,
having
Bryce.
me.
Yeah, and so we're going to let Bryce take us out with a couple of tunes, maybe just one tune if we're looking at
Yeah.
time. But thanks everyone for listening. This is Goodnight from us at the Community Garden, from me and Matt. You can catch us next Tuesday at 10 p.m. and every Tuesday after that till the rest of the semester. Thank you, Bryce, and have a good night, everyone.
So, Bryce, what are you going to play us tonight?
That's a great question. I think I'm going to play the title track off of the EP that I released over the summer. It's called Wonder. Oh, yeah. Slide me that microphone, buddy. Oh, fumble. All right. Matt is the mic stand now for my guitar. Oh, that's a great sound.
Tell me why I haven't stopped my dreaming. Seems sometimes I'll be better leaving this behind. Forget about my wasted time. And I can see why you don't believe me. Just you wait until you next see me, you will find I spent some time inside my mind. know this is not what you expected for your boy to simply miss the message. I am not like any of the others. I've been sleeping on top of my covers because sometimes I just can't really find the words to say that I don't live inside your world. I'll find my way and do it all alone if that is all I got. 'Cause I refuse to be something I'm not. Hey, old man, I know I'm not like you. It's not my plan to try to justify my foolish ways, those drunken nights and wasted days. And though I know that you still won't get it, I hear that song and I cannot forget those happy times when you would sing along with mine. And sometimes I just can't really find the words to say. I used to live inside your world, but not today. Don't want to go alone, but that's the only way. And though this may be true, I love you anyway. I know this is not what you had hoped for your boy to be this little jokester. I am not like either of my brothers. I can't help but stop to look and wonder.
Thank you, Bryce.
Thank you guys.